Ballin', ba-ballin', ba-ba-ba-ba-ballin', ba-ballin'.
And we are back.
Yeah!
Aggressively again. Reed, you always bring us out of commercial break in the most just like controversial way.
I know,
possible.
seriously.
But once again, thank you guys for listening on this beautiful Monday afternoon. This is the Wolves of Ball Street. We got our sit-in fill-in for Smitty, our always baseball, hockey, Bulls, Blackhawks, everything.
Yeah. I'm just a sit-in. I'm a wolf, bro. You hate me because you ain't me.
I think I hate you because you're always bashing DePaul. What's with that guy?
I didn't get to bash Windy City today.
Anyways, we also have our special guest, Mr. Daniel Poneman.
Yo.
Thank you always again for coming down, and we see you got your social media running as well.
Snapchatting.
On the Snapchat. Usually, I've been working with Periscope these days, but I stopped because it kind of scares me. I don't like it. It creeps me. I don't want people
The
to know.
future is scary.
I don't want people to know where I am.
Yeah, did you guys see recently the guy who got murdered while he was on Facebook live stream?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
was
we talked
crazy.
about that during class. It was crazy. Yeah.
That's talked about
That's like,
everywhere.
Honestly, it's weird because it like changes the standards for like what can happen now. Like literally just socially, that was insane. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Unreal.
But going back to our
sports.
but
Saw that murder?
sports.
Sports. man.
Real life happens, people, and that's why we get away from it with the world of sports. But sometimes it seeps in. So we're getting back once again. This is the Wolves of Ball Street. We're discussing some college basketball with our buddy Daniel Poneman here, and we had an interesting talk about women's basketball. But now we're going to shift things over to the men's side and discussing the NCAA tournament, which we haven't been on, shockingly, since it happened. So we have a little bit of time to wrap that up. Of course, I had to wear my Villanova shirt for the day. Because whether or not I care about Villanova, which I'm on the fence about that, even though Jalen Brunson, a great Illinois product, I am a Duke fan, and as a Duke fan, I did not want to see North Carolina take a title.
I mean, I will say this. The only good thing about Villanova winning was
Nothing.
that it actually brought relevance to the sad Jordan face.
It brought sad Jordan face back. And,
I'm so sick of sad Jordan face, bro. I didn't think it was funny the first or second time. There's two definite internet camps. I think sad Jordan face is stupid and not funny, and I think sad Jordan face is the greatest thing that's ever happened to the internet. And I don't get you people. It's the new Democrat Republican of the internet.
It was funny because I was actually against it, more so I was on your side. I just didn't get it. But now I'm for it because I read it was a random Reddit article I think I found about how the sad Jordan face is changing what we think of Jordan and what he means to winning in athletics, because now we'll forever know Michael Jordan as a sad crying face and not as a winner of 6 titles. And I was like, wow,
so sad.
that would be insane if kids 15 years from now remember Michael Jordan as, the guy who's crying on all of them.
Mom, that's a sad guy. Does he win trophies?
Like, could that really be an outcome of this? But you never know.
You just ruined my day with that.
Hey, that's the loser Bobcats owner. Oh wait, the Hornets owner. My bad.
Well, we'll bring your spirits back up. What was your favorite takeaways, Daniel, from because we know you're obviously in the recruiting circles here. What did you like about the NCAA tournament? Were there any moments that captured you?
I thought it was really sweet when Bryce Johnson was crying after they lost, and Hubert Davis crying. That was just touching. Who else cried?
Who else cried?
So you like the losers? You like that we get to show?
No, that was just. I was hoping the Bryce Johnson or Hubert Davis crying face would replace the Jordan crying face. But enough about crying faces. What were some of my favorite moments? I liked Hawaii pulling an upset. I thought
Hawaii team was
South
nice.
Dakota State got screwed against Maryland. My whole bracket got busted because I picked Hampton to go to the Final Four, 16 seed,
Ooh.
and they lost horribly in the first round.
I like swinging for the
Hey,
fences,
just like
though.
Michigan State. No.
I have the problem in the brackets of I can't pick against guys who are my friends and I want to see them win. I just can't, because then if they do win and I picked against them, I'll just never
Hear the end of it, yeah.
I'll never forgive myself for it.
Right.
So my brackets are always real mangled. Other favorite moments, that Northern Iowa Texas A&M game was wild.
that
That
was-
was off the
yeah.
chain.
Craziest finish I've seen in a basketball game, maybe any sport actually.
I loved Wisconsin with Bronson Koenig hitting that
step back.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was maybe the best shot of the tournament. after, of course, the 2 in the national championship game that everyone's been discussing.
Yeah.
Which, did you get a chance to tune into the actual game itself, or were you on and off with that?
Yeah, so I mean, I was watching the game, and unfortunately, my mother was there because she came in town for the showcase. So I have this problem with my mom that when I watch games with her, she gets so sad and upset when people just, like, if someone misses a free throw, she'll be like, oh, no, oh, she'll, like, feel so bad for that person. So it makes me so annoyed watching games with my mom.
That sounds like my mom, too, yeah.
So you can imagine at the end of that game, she would not be quiet. She just felt so bad for everybody. But then then I did a little Snapchat analysis. I had her give her a game breakdown for my Snapchat.
Of what she thought.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
Wait, I would like to know, what was her biggest takeaway from it?
She said, that was so great when the guy hit the shot and then the other guy hit the other shot. Whoa.
Okay. Now, what I wanted to know, I know sometimes you go down to the Final Four if you can, and you've had a great opportunity to witness a bunch of those.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any player stories for that? Because I know you have a lot of guys who you maybe have seen have some postseason success, and maybe some more than others.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to many Final Fours. I was down at the Final Four this year. I just didn't stay for the games. I was there for the College Basketball Coaches Convention, but I go every year. So my very first Final Four was when I saw Tyler Hansborough and North Carolina and those guys win the national title in Detroit, Michigan, which was cool.
Yeah.
And then last year was probably my most memorable, because I had 10th row tickets, which was pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I got to see Wisconsin-Duke. Now, the great thing about Wisconsin-Duke was it was Jahlil Okafor versus Frank Kaminsky, two Chicago guys, 2 guys who I've known since they were in middle school. And it's the red Wisconsin and then the blue Duke, and I just was there in all black because I couldn't cheer for either side. So after the game, though, I didn't know who I wanted to win. I just wanted Jahlil and Frank to play great. But after the game, I'm walking down the street in, where were we last year?
I think it was maybe Dallas.
I thought it was
Nope,
Houston.
Dallas was. No, it was Indy last year.
Oh, Indy.
Because Dallas was the year. Houston was this year. Indy was last year. Dallas was year. So I'm walking down the street in Indy after this win. I'm had this great game, and who do I see but Jahlil Okafor's dad and uncle walking down the street, and they're just over the hill because they just won the championship. So I start walking with them because those are my guys. I've known them for years. We start walking, and people start following us. They see it's Jalil's dad. They start following us. And you know how there's like the people banging on buckets, like the bucket boys on the street?
Yeah.
So Jalil's dad pays one of the bucket boys $20 to lead our parade. So we're walking down the street with Duke fans. It's me, Jahlil Okafor's dad, and a bucket boy banging on his bucket. And we start a parade. And then there's like street performers, like these dancing Ninja Turtles. Okay? So we have dancing Ninja Turtles, a bucket boy, Jahlil Okafor's dad and uncle, and we're starting a parade. And I made a little film, like a selfie film of it, and it went viral. Like CBS Sports posted it, like Jahlil Okafor's dad dances with Ninja Turtles. And after that, so I just kept marching with him, and we marched right into the hotel, right down to the post-game victory party, and I got to see Coach K give his post-game victory speech to the Duke players, their family, and all the former players were there too.
Oh, that's
so you had
awesome.
That's awesome.
Grant Hill
Amazing.
was there, and Jay Billis was there, and Jay Williams was there. It was something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that had to be a surreal experience, especially just seeing Coach K speak like to his team. Such an intimate moment. That's truly awesome. And I think the bucket boy thing had to be the most random part of it.
Yeah.
Not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, I would expect the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at a Final
I mean,
Four
you are
there.
one of them.
No, you're one
Throwing
of them.
some on the air shade.
All right, I'll be Michelangelo. Which one of you guys?
I'm Donatello.
I'll be Master Splinter just because he has the most.
Gotta be
boy.
different.
You look like
Gotta
Master
keep-
Splinter.
You know us. We call them shy rats out here.
Oh, wow.
All right, before we get to our next sports update here, we want to give you a quick second, Daniel, just to tell us about anything else you're working on before you
Yeah, we know you're
depart.
busy.
We know you're a busy guy. We don't want
Yeah.
to keep you too long.
I'm really not that busy, but I could talk sports for days. And I love you, Michael. You're one of my buddies. You've been helping me with the showcase
Oh,
for years,
of
so I'm
course.
really thrilled to be here. But the only thing I want to say before I leave is I gotta ask. Okay, so people listening, you hear what I do with the showcase. We've gotten hundreds of Chicagoland area kids into college who would never otherwise be able to pay for college through the showcase. Everything's nonprofit. Every single kid plays in the event for free. All of our employees are volunteers. We do it on a shoestring budget. This year we got probably $3 or $4 million of scholarship dollars offered to these kids for a total budget. The entire event was run on $10,000. And what I need from you guys is if you know anyone who works with a bank, with a major corporation, anybody who's just rich and wants to give money, we need someone to sponsor this event. We need people to help. I would do 4 of these a year if I had the time and energy and resources to do it. We would do these for girls because the girls' scholarships are worth just as much as guys' scholarships. And at the end of the day, it's getting kids into college and helping the city of Chicago by getting our kids out of this city. Just the other day, I had a kid who played in my very first showcase. His name is DJ Tolliver. Went off to Highland Community College. He was back in Chicago and he was killed on his front porch. Yes. Great kid, wasn't involved in gangs, but someone came out and they wanted to shoot and they killed DJ. And I was at his funeral Friday right before my showcase. And if we don't want things like this to happen, we want to save these kids, we need events like this. We need events like the SwagAir Showcase. So please find me on Twitter at SwagAir. Find me on Instagram at SwagAir. Email me, DanielPoneman@gmail.com. Please, anyone support this event. Support Chicago kids. Help these kids get out of the city and help us save Chicago.
Great message. And once again,
thank you,
Daniel,
right.
for coming out, man. You're definitely the best guest we've had. Also, our first. So you're setting a high standard for the rest of the guys. And I love you for letting us know it is bigger than basketball sometimes, bigger than the sport. So you can find him on Twitter at SwagAir. Check it out and help him out. Now we're going to throw it to our buddy Mike Reed in a second with our sports update.
I didn't even
Thanks
get to
for having me,
finish.
guys.
Yeah,
no problem.
Thank you.